Thursday love. Da, 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 da. Thursday love.
There we go. There we go. All right. Hey, everybody. We're waiting for folks to come on in. Thursday Love is on. We are excited about tonight. Will you stop?
You better get baptized tonight. Hey, Baker.
Hey, Baker. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. We'll wait a couple of minutes. Let a few more people come on in. Amen. For those that are in, hit your share button. For those that are in, hit your share button. We are excited about this edition that we're doing. We're gonna go ahead. You want to go ahead and get started? What you thought I was about to say?
I was like, don't finish that.
Let me see. Hey, Bet. Hey, Bet. For those that are tuning
Bet.
in.
Look, you did a great hair on them girls' hair. I mean, a great job on them girls' hair. You did real good.
You did a great hair on them jobs.
Yeah, you did a great hair on them jobs. I know they was a job, especially Taylor.
Hey,
Keisha.
Oh,
you know what I mean. It's 9 o'clock, 9:03.
All right, so welcome everybody to Thursday Love. We are continuing our series for the month of April, Marriage Through the Years. Our first week, we had the pleasure of having the Wilkes with us for Grace under 5 years.
Yes, you will.
And then on last week, we had the Browns with us all the way from New York.
Meet the Browns.
Yes, and they were celebrating 10 wonderful years. They've been together for a whole decade. But it was amazing because they had been friends for a decade. So they had been friends for 10 years. They've been married for 10 years. So it was awesome. We have shared some wonderful stories up here on Thursday Love this year. In 2021, we've done something different. We have invited more couples. We have laughed way more. And of course, we have shared love. So we're truly excited about tonight. Will you stop so I can talk?
We're truly excited about tonight.
We're truly excited about tonight. Good God Almighty. Jesus Christ.
He loves you.
So I can't even remember what I was going to say. So on tonight, we are celebrating 20 years. There are many couples out there that have been married 20 plus years, but to me, I don't think they get the credit that they deserve. We talk so much about singles and those who get divorced. They can't even last 5 years, but we like to give credit where credit is due. And so tonight we have a wonderful couple with us.
Tonight we get holy.
Tonight we get holy.
We get submerged.
Tonight we got a wonderful couple with us. We have the Baptists with us. And so we're about to bring them in so they can share their love story with us. And we talk about how it feels to be married for 20 years. They just celebrated their 20th anniversary. So it's amazing. So let's bring them in now. Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
TJ about being baptized.
Al, I only got one question to ask you, but I'll ask you later.
Lord Jesus, they ain't even been up here 5 seconds.
I'm just getting in there already.
Ain't even been up here 5 seconds. All right. So, everybody, for those who don't know, we introduce you to Mr. and Mrs. Albert Baptist.
Robertsville in the house.
Hey, Martin County. Yes.
Farmville in the house.
Yes, North Carolina.
What is formerly known as Roanoke High School.
That's right.
South Creek.
Yes, Panther Creek. Something. South Creek, I think something.
It don't make sense.
It's always going to be Roanoke for us.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's always going to be Roanoke. So, we thank you guys for joining us on tonight to accept the invitation to come on.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry. Al, I see who's gonna be doing most of the talking tonight.
You know,
no No hand
Bro,
talking. No hand
It's
talking.
hard for me to keep my hands still.
It's all right, as long as you don't put them on Al like that, you're good to go.
No.
Breaking news.
So let's get started. For those who don't know, everybody don't know Rachel and Albert. So we want to know. Please introduce yourselves.
Okay, you go first.
Ladies
Okay,
first.
all right, thank you. So my name is Rachel Jones Baptist. I am from Robertsonville, North Carolina, Martin County representing. I'm a proud double eagle, North Carolina State
Woohoo!
in the house. I'm a math teacher here at Durham Public Schools, married to my handsome husband for 20 years. We have two sons, Albert A&T, Aggie Pride, engineer, and our youngest son, Isaiah, who is a sophomore at JD Clemens Early College. So happy to be here.
All right. I am Albert Baptist Jr. I am from Farmville, North Carolina.
Okay.
Whoa.
Been married to this lovely lady here for 20 years. Been knowing each other for 25.
Oh, wow.
A proud alum of the North Carolina A&T State University.
It's okay, man.
The best of the best.
It's okay. I have to agree with you. That's why I don't like it. But it's all right.
So we're happy to be here tonight and looking forward to sharing the wisdom and knowledge that we've gained from so many other couples that have mentored us over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. Hey, Cameron. Sometimes we'll do that. We'll say hey to people that's.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. So Farmville, you right here, born and raised in North Carolina too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in New York.
Okay.
Did you see how his accent
It
changed?
changed.
He went from the field to this New York. New York.
Hey, it's New York. It's not New York. Come on now, we can't say New York.
Yeah, so you got to say it right. You
I am educated at North Carolina A&T, so I have to have some type of class about myself.
I feel you, Albert. I'm with you. You got to say it right.
I am a country boy at heart, though, so I don't as anything other than my place of birth.
Lord have mercy. So what we have done, we have talked to other couples about their dating journey. And so we want to know, how did it all begin? And everybody has their side of the story. I know we have our side of the story. But so we're curious. So how did this love story start?
Okay, since you asked.
407 years ago, over 250 years ago, when Mozart was alive.
No, so it was what year? 1995. 1995 at Brown's Chicken and Waffle Club in Rocky Mount, Nash County.
Mm-hmm, Nash County.
So we were at a New Year's Eve party, and I saw him, and I was like, "Hey, don't I know you?" And he was like, "No." I was like, "No, I think I know you." He was like, no. I was like, "No, you look like such and such a person from such and such a place."
Dang.
I was like, "I think I know you." He was like, no. So I was like, "Well, anyhow, you want to dance? You want to dance?" So we danced, and we're dancing people. I mean, Martin County like to dance. I mean, Eagle like to dance like a shake a tail feather. So we danced. And I'm trying to think. I think you asked my number, or I gave you my number, or something to that. So he said he didn't. Okay.
He really like,
Old age. Her memory slip.
Okay, so maybe
20
he
years.
didn't ask for my number, but somehow or another, he got my number and he remembered, because that was the age before cell phones. So you had to remember folks' number. You had to use that 1, 2, 3. That's 1. That's a 2. You had to kind of memorize how to put it on the phone to call me, and then the rest is history. We started dating, and going to visit him at A&T Greensboro, and vice versa, and dated for 5 years, 6 years, till my grandma said, "You better marry that girl. I'm tired of you coming to my house and you the ring on." And that's your story. That's my story.
You still
I
get
feel
tears?
like there's another side to
All right,
this story.
Al, what you got?
That story?
What you got, Albert, with details?
On
Man?
Facebook Live.
You gonna stick to that story?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, here's the truth.
Thank you.
It was exactly 1 o'clock at night.
I ain't know the
New
exact
Year's
time.
Eve party.
Thank you, because I was wondering where the dance came from.
Had not seen her all night. And she comes up to me with that line that she just gave. I know you. No, you don't. You don't know me. I'm not from around these parts. So she, yeah, dude. Long story short, we start dancing. Dance all rest of the night. The club closed at 2:30, 3 o'clock. We danced until the end.
I had to get my money's worth.
Get ready to leave. I said, okay, it was nice meeting you. She said, wait a minute. Aren't you gonna get my phone number?
Did I say it like that?
Yeah, you did say it like that.
I believe you, Al.
I'm like,
I believe.
And I'm thinking, look, I stay in Greensboro, all these women in Greensboro. I am not going back to Central. There's nothing at Central that I want. So I did get her phone number, and I did remember Rising.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Did you say rememberize it?
Yes,
I was passing through Durham.
mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? Let me call old girl I know in Durham. I used to stop. I had one in Raleigh, I see, one in Greensboro,
A player
UNCG.
from the Himalayas. There you go. That's all that you got
Can I
girls
finish my
that
story?
you got girls
Can I
in
finish my
different
story?
area codes.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, this is what happened when you married for 20 years. Go ahead, Al. Go ahead, Al.
So after that, I just stayed in touch with her.
I'm not gonna.
And I used to work at this place that I used to get free phone calls. So I'm like, I call her up for free. Because I won't call her on my house phone. So stayed in touch with her. And to find out, years down the road, she was a player too. From the Himalayas.
Now that I believe.
She was big. But that's the
That's
thing.
in your run-up days. I believe
That-
it. I
that
was
needs
younger,
to be-
but I believe
That needs to be known because people weed themselves out over time.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's true.
And the Strongs
To survive.
still going.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I brought in that she was a player also.
Process elimination.
Big time player.
Look for our 21st generation. Players mean they will see multiple people.
Yeah, because they think y'all talking about sports.
Oh God.
What, football players? That's
Go ahead.
yeah, players mean they were seeing multiple people at the same time.
That's right.
Y'all were just friends.
We're just friends.
Yeah, that, you know what? That's what they use now. Oh, we were just
Friends.
friends. She had friends. I had friends. That we'll use that. Yeah, we were friends.
Yeah, friends.
We was friends. Yeah, that's it.
At the same time.
That sounds good.
So
Yeah, at the same time.
we led up to the marriage. I finally realized that she was the one day she came to the house. Actually, you know what? Let me go back. My apartment in Greensboro. And she walked up the sidewalk. I'm like, man, I could marry that chick right there. That was my thought when I first saw her. She had on this jean dress.
Al, quick question. When you first saw her, what did you see her from the front or from the back?
I saw her from the front. It was nighttime.
Let him tell it.
It was nighttime, so in the club you couldn't really see people. And then,
Everybody look the same. Gotcha.
The lights come on.
But when he really saw her,
it was about 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Found out she was coming from some other dude's house.
Ooh.
I just was a pit stop.
Evidently, you stopped everything, Al.
Look, it's okay because look, this is 20 some years down the road.
But that's true.
So it's okay. But it's good to know because we all dated people and they fell off. But when I met her, when she first came to my apartment, I was like, man, I could marry her. We had the best time conversating. She would come, we'd spend time going to the park up there in Greensboro. I didn't have no money to take her out anywhere. So she was always cool enough to hang out with a broke dude like me. And so I ended up asking her to marry me after about 5 years. And I said, I'm going to move either Texas, Atlanta, Charlotte. I'm going to move. I'm going to leave the area. I said, if you coming back to North Carolina, let me know now. Because if not, our relationship over. And here we are. Still in Durham. Still in the Bull City.
Man,
You talking about me moving to Virginia?
Well, oh yeah, I forgot she did move to Virginia. She was in Virginia for about what, 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
And she came back for me.
Came back, and something happened where he got on my nerves, and I was like, you know what?
We broke up.
We broke up. I think it was right before Valentine's Day. 'Cause my girlfriends were like, "What? Why you breaking up?" I was like, "He did something trifling. I don't care."
We couldn't even tell you what we argued over.
I'm like, "Deuces, go. I don't shit. I don't care."
Deuces, go.
She said, "Deuces,
Go. Go. Yes. So that's the short abbreviated version. I'm gonna be trying to connect the dots on stuff.
That's connect. That's the truth.
That's true.
Unless you got some more dots, I don't know.
You
know what? Okay, move on.
They're telling us. We were just gonna let y'all have it.
Yeah, I was like, take it to the grave.
See, this is what happened. Because we can literally tell the difference between the 5-year and the 20-year. Because it's funny when it was the 5-year and somebody said something, you could tell they were trying to be quiet and trying to be respectful. They was like, and y'all just sit here like, tell it. No, go ahead. What you saying? What you saying? Like, what? Nah. BB said, hey, y'all.
Hey, BB. Hey, BB.
We know Kim ain't, Kim ain't got no, she ain't got no book, do she? She got no Facebook.
No, I don't know what Kim has sometimes.
Okay, all right, so y'all met and y'all dated for 5 years, and so pretty much the other people started to float away, and so y'all saw this as being something serious. Y'all stuck it through or whatever. So proposal took place. Now how was it? Now let me take it back. So Al, how you said, I think I can marry this chick. Now, Rachel, what would you say would be the turning point for you to say, I think he could be my husband?
I think when to me, always he's bringing me home to meet his family. That lets me know I'm serious. Like, I mean your mom, I mean your dad, I mean your cousins. And just the way he treated his mom. Even though he's a mama's boy, because he's the only male.
Right.
4 sisters.
He like, I ain't no mama's boy.
Wow. Just the way he took care of her.
Right.
And I was like, okay, just the way he interacted, the way he treated me, like you said, we had really nice conversation. And because he separated himself from the other guys that I were talking to or thinking about talking to, I was like, they're not on the same level. And because he had aspirations of doing bigger things than what we could see, I was like, okay, I can see myself marrying him. I can see myself being a Rosie Reeves, Clint Reeves. Ain't but one man know me. That's the only person that's going to be married to me. So that was to me the turning point.
And what year was that? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years?
I would say probably about 3. Still kind of figuring each other out. Once we graduated, and when we went to Virginia because I was trying to find a teacher job. And he riding with me, come on.
I picked up in my car.
Because
riding with you. Because I took you.
Because the other car had broke down. Something happened to it. I don't know. Something happened to it. So I was like, come on, I need to get a job. Because my aunts have said that you got this degree, you better work, do something. So just he was riding with me and, trying to help me get to my goal and understanding what I was trying to do. I was like, okay, I think is the one. And then I was just waiting, like my grandma said, waiting on him to put a ring on.
Beyonce.
So, dang, I forgot my question.
That's what happens when you get
I forgot my question. Jesus. Lord have mercy.
Don't say anything, TJ. We're 40s. We're late 40s.
Almost 50, girl.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because y'all older than BB, so that means y'all got to be like 40.
Really?
Hey,
you make it sound like
old. I'm gonna get mine.
I'm 42. I mean, y'all was 92. I'm 96.
So yeah, we're close to 50.
Yeah, we almost close to 52.
That's right. Go and get your discounts.
Hey, I'm getting my AARP.
That's what I said too. I'll go right to Ross.
Oh, I forgot. Okay. Look, my question is back.
Yeah, so you're 48. She got to be.
Okay, so my question is back. Was marriage always on the table for both of y'all? Did y'all ever see yourselves getting married?
No. I never saw myself getting married. I said, I'm on tape. I went to my cousin's wedding and I said on tape, I'd never get married.
Oh, wow.
I had just graduated, maybe a year out of college.
Joke's on you.
Yeah, the joke was on him. I'm like, okay, you say that. Okay. Okay.
You always knew you wanted to get married?
Yeah, I did because, like, for me, and TJ knows our family. I grew up in a family where everybody was pretty much married, so I didn't see a lot of negative aspects of it. And I wanted to have kids. Hence, I had to be married, and I knew that was a way based on my religion. That's how we had to be. So it was always the thought. It was a matter of time. Like, was I going to get married in my early 20s, 30s, 40s, so forth? But marriage was something on the horizon.
El, why you didn't see yourself get married, man?
Yeah, well.
For all the negative stuff that happens in a marriage is why all the stereotypical things of how marriage changed and how your relationship changed, sex changed, conversation changed, you don't do this, you don't do that. The negative side, I'm like, look, you stop living when you get married. And I was like, man, I ain't doing that. And then on top of that, my parents divorced after 40 years of being married.
Wow. But the good side, it was 40 years.
So,
yeah, but 40 years, and my dad passed away last year, and he said that was one of the biggest mistakes he ever made, because he said the problems that they was having were not new, and he should have just stayed married, because in his old age, he wasn't in the place that he wanted to be at 70 plus years old.
So Al, I have a question, man. So you said your parents got divorced at 40 years old, so you guys are 20 in. How do you feel? And you said that. Well, I got two. It's a two-part question, but I asked you the first part. So you said you never seen yourself get married, and you saw the negative stuff of marriage. Now that you've been married to Rachel for 20 years, are you glad you made the decision to marry her, even though you've seen all the negative stuff?
It wasn't my decision. It was God, and I say it like that because if it was my decision, I'd be divorced. Mm-hmm. I would have been divorced after year 2, 3.
Probably.
No, not after the wedding. Probably 2 years after the wedding. I was like, I'm ready to kick some rocks around here. This ain't what I signed up for. Right. And most people that been married, you get into that situation where it's like, no, this is not what I signed up for. And looking back at it, all the 90% of the negative things I thought about marriage, you still go through them. Mm-hmm. But I understood that God had ordered my steps in everything I had done. I got to certain places in my life and I look back at where I came from. I'm like, wow, that wasn't of God. Mm-hmm. And so that same thing in the marriage. I looked at 7 years in our marriage, because they say 7-year mark is the transition that people either they're gonna make it or not.
I thought it was 5.
We were told 5. We were told 5. Yeah, some people said 1.
Everybody.
Some people said 1. You're right.
Well, maybe 7 is better. Maybe what is it? Completion is better than grace. So here we got.
Right.
But I kept looking at my marriage and where I was at. I'm like, okay, Lord, you know something I don't know. Mm-hmm. You put me at every stage of my life, everything from my job to my education to so much, and it's like, wow. Okay, God, this is you. I don't know what you're trying to get me to learn here, but it's something that's going to come out of that's going to be bigger than me. Mm-hmm. And I look back over these 20 years, that's why I kept coming up to our anniversary. I just kept looking at the milestones and the things that we've accomplished. And you start seeing that, wow, your marriage was way beyond the things that you expected. It's family members, nieces and nephews and friends and people you meet that look up and look up to us. And I didn't know it. People came to me and said it. Like, you a sense of stability. And I never even thought about that. Wow. Like, all the mess we go through around here, we about to choke each other out. It's like, holy cow. God, God has bigger plans for us. Yeah. And so that's the biggest reason that I look back at it and I'll do it again. Even though I know it's tough, I know it got some good, the ups and downs and highs and lows, but it's a plan bigger than us. And I look at those days when you get older, when you get ready to retire and sit down, you got somebody to lay down and sit down on the porch with you. When y'all ain't got nothing but y'all conversation, because ain't nothing else working.
Right. Well, You can get it working. You got to see that blue man. You know what, though? Honestly, a bunch of the blue men, but you know what's good, man? Honestly,
then you gonna be dead.
Well, hey, you be dead, but you will be alive. Very much so. Your blood will still be running warm in your veins. All right, so, but it's good though, man. It's really good. Usually, you hear women saying that type of stuff about their marriages,
right?
But it is really good to hear African American male. Let me say that. And so many negative stereotypes of us. It's good to hear a male say that about their marriage. Look, it won't easy, but it was God that kept me. And it's not only what you said, but you didn't take any pleasure. I mean, you didn't take any what's the word I want to use? You didn't take any credit for it. You really said, hey, look, this was God. If it was me, I've been done. But this was all God. So not only were you, it's a positivity, but and you've been an African American male, but you're giving all praise and honor, and you're letting people know, look, if you really want to stay married, you can't do this thing by yourself. Right. You have to have God running this thing, not just God in the marriage, but you got to have God running this thing, because if he's not driving, you're going to crash. So it's good to hear, like I said, just good to hear a male talk about, look, there's troubles in marriage. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have these troubles, but you got to have God there. If you got God there, you can make it. That's good to hear.
That's true. That's a testimony in itself, because like Al said, we are very both strong personality people.
You brought heads a whole lot right here.
You're like this. What?
She took her glasses off.
I can't see at all. So, I was like, I gotta put it back on so I can see. But it was like, like you said, that marriage aspect of coming together as one and figuring out all the differences that we're bringing to all of our background, history, baggage, come to place. And like you said, trying to first do it on our own. This is Rachel's opinion of how we're supposed to do it. This is our opinion of what I think marriage is going to be. And the more we kept trying to do it our way, you see all these gray hairs? I'm like, what is wrong with gray hairs? You hair, everything. Okay.
Hey, look, Al, I got you. I'm in that arena too, man.
Yeah, man. So it was more of like, okay, we have to pull back and reassess, because if we do not, we are cars going off a cliff and there's no return. So we have to hold on to God, and we have to keep referencing God as the center of our marriage. He is the foundation, because the minute you look away from him, it's going to be easy. It's going to be anything that can. Okay, sorry. Keep my hands down. I got to keep my hands down.
It's okay. I talk with my hands too.
I know. I'm like, it's so, all right, that's my family. And you. Okay, I'm sorry. Now his face. I
didn't want to say that, Al, but I was going to say she had about that much of a window.
Okay, Sherrie, think I'm going to focus on this side of my hand.
Left hand.
No hand. So if once you take your eyes off of God, so many ways of temptations could come in, be it attitude, be it, oh, look what they post on Facebook. They look like the perfect couple.
Yeah.
We raising hell on a regular basis, but we're not doing right. And we call ourselves Christians. Right. It was because and I think in the beginning, and even now, sometimes
last week
we acting like pure fools. And we call ourselves Christian, but it's because sometimes we take our eyes off of Christ and we get caught up in our feelings and caught up in our emotions. And because we get caught up in our emotions, we don't do things that are Christ-like. And that's what we got to keep reminding ourselves is, when you say something to your spouse, are you reflecting the love of Christ that he has for us? Mm-hmm. And if we're not, then we got to check ourselves. Right. We can't, and this is something we've talked about, we can't be nice to other people.
Yeah.
Talk nice, be nice, act nice, do everything we're supposed to do. Yes, we're Baptists, yes, and so forth. And then raise hell in our own household. We're contradicting ourselves.
Right.
And like Al said, but I knew this all along. It took him a while to figure it out. I knew people were watching us. I could see it. I knew that. I could feel it in my spirit. I knew
Take them glasses off.
Don't take them. Right.
Now, can you see him watching you now?
I can see them. I can feel it. I can see my eyes.
You can see me wondering. We got you.
I knew that people were watching because as young women, they would say to me, Aunt Rochelle, how do you put it on Uncle Man? I know Uncle Man, how he got his little ways. And I would say, well, I try to do X, Y, Z. And they probably say the same, you know, the males of our family would say, how you put up Aunt Rochelle with her crazy ways? And, you know, how do y'all do this thing called marriage? And then I kept reminding myself, other people are looking at us and how we do things. So it's bigger than just our household. What you say, Pete?
You know, the big thing that I've learned is that, you know, one thing I always question, because people say, well, you read in the Bible, say God blesses marriages. Mm-hmm. I'm like, Lord Jesus.
That's hot.
I know.
20 years, y'all. 20 years.
Yeah, so I started learning that I think he blesses marriages because it makes you humble yourself and depend on him. Yeah. It makes all the things, all the principles that he's trying to teach us, you have to apply deeply, heavily every day, every week in your marriage.
Every day, every second, minute, hour, everything. Yeah.
Because we lose that. You'll lose it real quick.
Yeah, it is. I agree. It is, but it is because, especially if you are.
I didn't know you were so animated.
Oh,
she said, "Push, go."
If you are paying attention to society and all that stuff, you know, you go. That is the key, man. Because I mean, we dated for a long time.
Next month we've been together for 22 years, but we've been married this year for 16 years.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying when you take your focus off of God and you stop allowing him to run your marriage, you start screwing up, saying stupid stuff. I ain't gonna say dumb, saying stupid stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. Little small, and it really, when you look at it, it's not even big stuff. It's really small stuff that we magnify. You know what I'm saying? When you get by yourself, you're like, dang, that really wasn't that big. And why did I say that? Because we took our focus off of allowing God to run our marriages. Like you said, Rachel, if, you know, and I think Odetta Brown, who was up here, she was talking about how with her husband, that they were best friends when they first met. And so she said, you know, when she want to say something to him, she thinks and she says, okay, if I say this is going to hurt my best friend. And I don't want to do anything. I don't want to say anything to hurt my best friend because we're a product of each other. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm saying something negative and crazy to him, I'm saying that about myself. So that's the one thing that she said that keeps her from pretty much keeping her mouth closed, or better yet, going to God to ask God, look, can you show him this? Not to try to be, you know, not for manipulation, but just God, just, you know, can you allow him to see where I'm coming from, X, Y, and Z. But yeah, I totally agree. We have to have, and people could say, "Oh, we being spiritual or whatever." But I tell you what, if that's what keeps my marriage together, you can call me whatever. But I'm not trying to be divorced for nobody. And I get you, Al. I ain't trying to be 60 years old, looking at the wall because I ain't got nobody in my house. You know what I'm saying? I want this woman to be here. I told y'all earlier, when I die, I'm gonna have blood running warm in my vein. I want her to be here until I take my last breath, or vice versa. I told her that if she take her last breath before I do, I can't say by myself. But I'm just saying, I want her to be here. We can't be here no longer together.
I think that's far. Yeah, I think I got two things. I'm sorry, I got two things. One of it is Rachel mentioned earlier about the backgrounds coming together. The thing is, when you're by yourself, you're only accountable for yourself. And so when you're with somebody, things that you do, your actions, your thoughts, the things you say, makes you accountable for the other person that you're with. And the thing is, when you got two totally different backgrounds, I know exactly what she's talking about, because I didn't grow up in church. My family, we didn't go to church. And if we did go to church, it was for Easter and maybe for Christmas. a little bit of maybe Sunday school because you did wrong the night before, but we really didn't go. Whereas TJ grew up in church, so I wasn't saved. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't saved. God wasn't the head of my life and all that good stuff. So, and then the way I thought, the way my family was, my environment, the way I was molded, I love to be loud. We're very loud people. We like to argue. We're debatable. And then TJ, he's very reserved, conservative. He don't like to argue. You know what I'm saying? He's optimistic 24/7. And I'm negative. When we were dating, I was negative 24/7. So you taking those two, yeah. And I'm not a morning.
I'm like, good morning. Like,
Yeah. So we literally bumping heads. So yeah, to bring those two together and learn how to work together and compromise and submit to each other. That's years of work. That's not something you do overnight. It's not something that happens overnight. So mistakes are going to happen. Sometimes you are going to slip out your mouth and say the wrong thing. I think the thing that TJ taught me, or the type of relationship me and TJ have, I think the problem is it wasn't so much the disrespect. It's so much is that we're very honest with each other. And sometimes it's brutally honest. And so it hurts. The truth hurts. And so we're always, this is how I feel. And this is this. And sometimes there's a time and place for that truth. Yeah. And there's a way to say that truth. So
it's always a way to say, I will tell her the truth. But there's a saying that says it's not what you say, but it's how you say it.
How you say
it's always, and it's always how you say it and the timing in which you need to say it. Because if you got to be honest with your spouse, you need to be honest with her, but you got to realize at the same time, before she's your wife, she's a grown woman. Like she's a human being. So you can't talk to her any kind of way. You know what I'm saying? You have to respect her as a woman first. You know what I'm saying? And then as your wife and the mother of your kids and all that other stuff. But so that's the thing. So before I say something out of sight, I got, hold on. She grown. First of all, she ain't got to be here. Just it's by her choice. Oh God, but it's by her choice that she chooses to stay here. So you need to watch what you say. Or if you say something the wrong way, you need to go back and apologize. Even though women don't forget anything. Yeah, they got them razor sharp memories.
So here's my next question to you guys. So 20 years in, there was a book that was written over, I say almost 20 years ago, but it became real popular a few years ago, and everybody was all into it. And it was called The 5 Love Languages. Did y'all ever discuss the 5 love languages between y'all and you know how to learn? So Rachel, what are your love languages? Or if not, Al, tell us what Rachel's love languages are, and Rachel, tell us what our love languages are.
Family Feud, and then Rachel, you tell if Al is right. Al, you say if Rachel is right. And then once we get off, y'all gonna be having that ain't my love language. Oh, go ahead.
Her biggest love language is words of affirmation. That's the biggest one. Word louder than her.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
What would you say your biggest one is? If I hadn't said that.
Yeah.
You might want to remind them what they are.
No, affirmation, actions. That's the two I remember.
Gifts.
Two main ones to me.
Yeah, gifts.
Oh, it's service, like doing things. That seemed like still like a sentiment to me.
Mm-hmm. And gifts.
Go
ahead. I was trying.
I know that's all that. Thank you.
Help out.
Thank you.
Yeah,
TJ, be quiet, TJ. She helping me.
Yes, y'all supposed to be telling us.
A student. Thank you. I would say yours is actions. Like, don't just say something, but your actions should model how you feel. Am I right on that? Right. Okay, good. So
I was waiting for him to say nope.
I was like this. I paid attention, and I think to me, over time, everybody love language changes.
Yes, ma'am.
When I said some people. Now I always mean that. Look, I'm talking to people too in general.
No, so I
would say.
What are you, y'all?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I said some things are for affirmation. Some affirmations, yes. But I think as I've gotten older, I'm like, I don't feel like I don't need as much validation. Like, oh, you look cute, or oh, your stomach. Okay, I know my stomach big. Okay, fine. You ain't gotta tell me it looks small. I'm okay with that. In the past, I think I would have been like, damn, how I look? Do I look crazy? Do I look different?
She be tore up from the floor. She want me to tell her she look good.
Yeah.
Now,
you better.
Yeah.
What you trying to say?
Yeah, but
and she get mad.
But now I'm at a different stage in my life. I'm like, wait a minute.
I ain't gonna lie, Craig.
But I'm a different stage. I mean, yes, I am. I still like words. I mean, I like basic stuff like thank you for doing XYZ. Like you do not have a high maintenance wife. And you better thank God for that. I don't ask for, you need to give me the Louis Vuitton. You got to give me this. I never wanted that. I just want simple stuff. Like, thank you for doing such and such. Thank you for, being a good wife or a good mother or so forth, which you are getting better at doing. Because that was not your personality to say stuff like that. You will buy me stuff and do things, but for words, would you agree with me on that? Yes. No.
Yes.
Oh. So I saw his personality and something else wise that we need to understand. You can't change them into what you want them to be. So if he's not someone who I would say was more of a nurturer, and I have to get out of my feelings of why did he say that? True?
True.
Okay, true. you better say something. Get in the mindset of Rochelle, sometimes he's going to say it, sometimes he's not, but he can't read your mind. If you pick me up, like I've told him by me teaching online and virtual, I hear so much stuff sometimes like this. Oh, God, my mind is gone. And sometimes, like, I would tell him stuff, and he would tell me, like, trying to solve my problem. I'm like, I ain't asked you to solve my problem. I just need you to listen to me right now. Like, it's okay. Are you a good teacher? Because I work in such a thankless profession.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just need it when I come home. So he's getting better at sensing my spirit, my facial expressions when I'm like, ooh, I don't know. Rochelle, you okay? You want to talk about it? Whereas in the beginning of our marriage, he'd be like, she crazy. She all right. She'll be all right. She'll be all right.
Well, I say this on to everybody. I got 4 sisters and a mama and a wife, and I say all women crazy.
I tell him that he was 6.
I'm not gonna say I agree with you. I ain't gonna say I disagree with you, but I will say that women do have something crazy in them. I will say that. But Sherrie is beautifully crazy.
It's a good crazy.
Her crazy is gorgeous. Just gorgeous crazy.
It's the crazy that we need. It's the crazy that we need.
That's right, man. Exactly.
God gave us that craziness to balance us out.
Yeah.
So if the women are good crazy, please tell me what the men are.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Y'all supposed to tell us what we are.
I want to hear Al's first. Go ahead, Al.
We just problem solving.
That's it.
Problem solving.
We solve y'all crazy.
Whatever.
And we try to solve y'all crazy, which gets us in trouble.
Right, Al.
You're with a solution to something you don't want a solution to.
Because sometimes y'all want to keep y'all crazy, but we try to get the crazy out. But y'all like, no, I know I'm crazy.
So now you saying I'm crazy?
No, I said it's gorgeous crazy. You're crazy. You don't have that ugly crazy. Some women got ugly crazy. You got gorgeous crazy. Your crazy look good.
I ain't gonna say none of them had the ugly crazy. I'm just saying all of them just got that crazy.
See, there's a song. What's the man name?
That's what we call it now. Gorgeous crazy.
What's the guy name? Donna Lawrence. He said, the gift looks good on you. Your crazy looks good on you.
I need somebody to make that into a t-shirt. Gorgeous.
Gorgeous crazy. That's what it is. That's why some women got ugly crazy, but you got your crazy look good on you. I like your crazy.
No, but the thing is, I love the older I get, the more I love the fact how God made men, the way He made men, and the way He made women. Yeah. It's great that we're not alike. It's great that we're yes, y'all are problem solvers. And yes, we're nurturers by nature, but also too, we're independent, we're strong. We have fight in us, you know what I'm saying? And most women, ain't gonna say all, but are affectionate. But then you got some men who are not affectionate. Like TJ in the beginning of our relationship was not affectionate. It took his 3 girls to start breaking him down.
I like to be divorced, y'all. No. So I mean, since you want to throw that out there, so my family. Make sure you know my parents. So my family and BB, my family was. Long as you got the Maslow hierarchy of needs, you know what I'm saying? You got your food, your shelter, all that stuff. You got that, you're good. We don't do no hugging and all that stuff. It won't like that. You know what I'm saying? You go in your room and you're good. As long as you're alive and everything is good, you're in the hospital, you're good. And so when I met Sherrie, comes from a family that's affectionate. You know what I'm saying? They hug, affirmate, all that stuff. And so, I mean, look, when I met, man, I was a product of my environment. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't used to that stuff. And she kept talking and kept talking. And I kept ignoring her. Like, chick, you crazy. You ugly crazy right now. You ain't gorgeous crazy. And so what happened though, man, she stopped talking. And she stopped telling me, about it. And I was like, hold on, man. I said, dude, she ain't talking no more. I said, boy, she doing the moonwalk. I said, so you might need to go back to all them conversations before I be sitting in the house by myself. And so I did. I went back and I started, because one night, man, we got into an argument and she said something. And I mean, it was funny. Like, it was funny. But I knew that if I had a laugh, that chick was about to get up, pack her bags, and be out. So I held it in. I had to swallow that thing, man. I said to her now, she still don't like it, but the argument is over. But anyway, I realized though that it made me a better man, though. You know what I'm saying? The things that I had, but then when I opened myself up to be affectionate, I realized, wow, what I was missing. And then on top of that, we got 3 girls. So if I had been like one of those dudes who wasn't affectionate, man, it would have been terrible. But you know what I'm saying? God knew what I needed in order to be the type of father that I need to be to my daughters. Like you were saying earlier, Al, how God ordered your steps.
Right.
And we're here to compliment each other. So there's something in Rachel that brought something out of you that you wouldn't think that would be there, and vice versa.
Yeah, there's some crazy in her that brought something out of you. There's some crazy in Sherrie. They're just there.
Yeah, we're gonna get it tonight. Yeah, Al, you gotta open up something tonight.
I'm gonna send her a text. Good morning, gorgeous crazy.
You gotta open up something tonight.
Oh man,
I'm gonna put it in the marriage thing.
All right, I want to hit 2 more topics before we head out tonight. It keeps ringing to me about trust. Not just trust as far as fidelity is concerned. I'm not really trying to even go there. But just trusting someone with your finances, your security, you know, how did that grow from the beginning to now? You know, how did that work? You know, just different areas of trust, you know, and in fidelity, you can ask that as well, but.
Okay. So we have a joint account, and Al was always really good with his money. With our money, but his money first, watching him and how he maneuvered, you know, saving dimes, the quarters, whatever. Just he was very frugal with his money, so I never saw him being wasteful. He always planned things out. And what really made me go, yeah, he should be in charge of the money, is when we decided to build our own house. God gave him the wisdom to be the general contractor to build our own house. And having that vision to say, okay, God's entrusted us to have this amount of money, and how we're not going to waste it. We're going to stay under budget. We're going to buy the land. We're going to build a house. And I'm going to make sure he always, even when I didn't want to listen to, he'll be like, okay, Michelle, this is where we're at. This is how much money we have. This is what we're trying to spend off. I'm like, you know what? I just want a pair of pants. He was like, no, Michelle, we need to stay on budget because we're looking at the bigger picture, which is a house. And of course, I bumped heads for a moment because I couldn't see it. I'm sorry, I'm still doing my hands. I'm sorry. I couldn't see it, but over time, God was like, he's not doing anything to hurt you. He is looking at, like TJ said, he's looking at providing for the family. To make sure that if push come to shove, even though he's an engineer by trade, he would say, okay, I'll dig a ditch, I'll get a job at Wendy's, whatever, to make sure that the family is essential. So sustained. So for me, that ultimate trust of you're in charge of it, I'm fine with it. I don't never go to sleep saying, he doing something with the money that is going to dishonor me. It's always going to be, I'm doing this for the family. Now, one thing I would say over time that I feel like I'm glad that we kind of got to this point is we were always saving. And to me, we would talk about how we would do stuff later on in life. Hit 60, 70, we're going to travel, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this. And then now with COVID, pandemics hitting, it was like, wow, that might not be guaranteed, right? So yeah, up all this money and we were doing all these things for later on, but who is to say that we will be around to enjoy it? So now we're kind of loosening up a little bit. We're still frugal, I think, but we're still saying we've worked hard.
Right.
So a lot of people, we should be able to enjoy the fruits of our labors while we're still here without being reckless. So with all that being said, he's a good steward of money. I trust him with it. And because he has demonstrated over the years that he's not going to mismanage it, I'm fine with it. That's his role. My role is the children and being someone who is thrifty. He knows I'm going to be the type of wife that'll say, oh, you paid $58 for that grill? Hold on, let me take it back. I can get it for $25.
You from Robinsonville?
Right, oh yeah, I do negotiate. let me get it for sale for you. Let me do so. You know, we both work well at the money and knowing that I'm not going to be a woman who's going to be like, oh, I got to have all this and you know just keep pulling money. No, what's the bigger picture? What are we trying to do to uplift the kingdom of God here on earth and what He's given us? So that's my long.
And I get you too when you're saying about you know, when you get 6 and 7, because when we first got married, you know, Sherry's like, well, why don't we go here? Why don't we go? And I was the one like, nah, man, you know, we need to do this and we need to do that. And then I was like, well, dang, man. I mean, prayerfully, you know, we are healthy and everything, but I'm like, yo, dude, you know, what happens if you get that age and something happened and you can't do it? You missed out on all of that time. And then like now the girls are growing. I mean, they were just born yesterday. And you know, Z is 13. And it's like, yo, she gonna be out of here in 4 years, 5 years, whatever. So I was like, yo, I mean, yeah, we do need to take care of some things, but we also need to take some time to go places as family because they're not gonna be home. They about to be out of here. So it's like you need to utilize the time that you have. Don't be crazy, but utilize the time that you have now to enjoy. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Because things are changing. People are crazy and stuff like COVID or whatever. And time flies, you know, before you look. I mean, we just got married yesterday and it's about to be 16 years, you know what I'm saying? So time don't wait for nobody. And
life is not promised to you. So that's why I always tell Al with TJ, you know, like how my mom passed away when I was young. You know, you don't know, you would like to live until you're 60, 70, 80, you know, my Aunt Carolyn and how she had the time with hers. But like I told Al, that's not guaranteed. So I don't want no woulda, coulda, shouldas if we can take advantage of the time we have now. So like when we built our patio, that to me was like a nice bonding time because we really had to work together to lay down that stone and debate on what's the best way to solve the slope of a line. And I'm the math teacher, you the engineer, Isaiah guys. You know, just enjoying each other's company. And that's what we, like I said, as couples, that's what we have to live in the present. We can't look at what we did in the past. We can't say what we're going to do in the future. What are we doing right now to build each other up and enjoy each other's company?
Yeah. What's your take on it?
Trust. Financially, I did not trust my wife when we first started.
What you mean?
She asked the question.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Honesty. Go ahead, Al.
I said any area of trust, but if that's whatever area y'all want to talk about, that's, you know, y'all can talk about it.
I love how we
talk.
When she moved, I remember when she moved, she had a stack of bank statements in a bag, in a box, in a basket. I said, what are all these bank statements in here? She said, oh, it's just my bank statements. I said, you don't open them? She said, no.
I know I had money in the
bank. I said, how you know they're not cheating you? She said, because I'm always coming up short. She said, I know. She said, I know I ain't getting none of my money. Well, now she had a line of credit attached to her bank account, and almost every month she was going over her balance, and she was in the red.
I know.
And I'm like, you're not even paying attention?
Giving back to St.
I
Mark.
said, do you have a budget? She had no budget.
No budget.
She didn't manage her. She just didn't manage her finances.
I want that bad.
Hold on, listen to what I'm saying.
I want that bad.
Not finished, please. Hold your mule over there.
Hold your mule, green.
But I knew I managed my finances better than she did because when I was in college, I had a $25 a week budget for food. $25 a week, so I was cooking. So I knew I had learned to manage my money early. So it wasn't anything totally against you. It was just the fact, hey, I do a better job managing
I agree with that.
I trust her wholeheartedly with anything that I need. My right hand to turn around with my left hand is tied up. You know, I know I can depend on her for whatever, to do the right thing with the kids and family. Just, you know, I trust her. And I don't trust her with.
Oh, thank you, man.
So even her cooking got much better.
You know what now, Rosie?
Boy, she used to cook frozen spinach, and would not taste it before she would serve it.
I had to have low sodium. Thank you, Aunt Carolyn, for low sodium.
No butter, no nothing. So I had to help teach her how to cook.
Okay, so what I teach you how to do? Okay, I had to elevate his style of eating. So he didn't want to eat oatmeal. I don't like it.
I had a full menu. What did I not eat? What did I not eat?
I said, what did I teach you how to do?
Other than some oatmeal, what else?
You know what? You want to show out like this tonight?
20 years, y'all. 20 years.
Oatmeal queen right here.
I just sit down at the table, man. Whatever Sherrie cooks, I just sit down at the table.
Come on, me, man.
I have problem admitting I can't cook.
Look,
I ain't gonna say I can't cook.
I didn't say she couldn't
I'm very
cook.
limited.
I didn't say she couldn't cook. What I do is I sit down to the table and I say, good bread, good meat, Lord, thank you, because she didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm just grateful that she's cooking.
Yeah, it's cooked. I'm not saying I'm the best.
I ain't going to bed hungry. I put it that way. I ain't going to bed hungry. So I don't say nothing.
Yeah.
She be like, I ain't cooking nothing. I ain't trying to hear that. So I just sit down to the table. Even if it's the meat is red, I sit down and I pray that it turns brown before I put it in my mouth. I don't say a word. I don't say nothing. And I'm not.
I had to learn not to say anything.
I had to. I just
because I cook so well, and she go serve some food. I'm like, did you taste of this?
I'm like, I'm trying to look out for it. I'm like, I'm trying to help you.
Looking out for your blood pressure, Al.
I sure am, because Lord knows you about made my blood pressure go up. Michelle, such and such and such. Michelle, I was like, look, either you gonna cook the food yourself,
and that's what
or you fall back. I don't need no doggone instructor.
I'll just have it cooked and ready for her to eat when she get home. Say what you want. But that's the thing, we balance each other out well. It's a lot of things that, people say they expect their wives to do. No, I've done and taken care of myself for so many years. I don't need my wife to wash my clothes. I don't need to cook.
Yeah.
I clean. I do the inside, I do the housework, and I do the yard work.
Yeah, but it's 50-50. I don't want people to think I'm lazy.
But that's not. Hold on.
No, that's not what he's saying.
Okay.
What he's saying is you ain't his maid. He can do his.
No,
he can do what he needs to do
yeah.
by himself.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I totally, because I mean, if my clothes are nasty or they dirty and my hamper feel, I know how to get the detergent and put them clothes in there. I'm not gonna sit there and let my stuff just pile up. Sherrie, my clothes need to be. Man, last time I checked, that chick alarm go off and she get up, thank God she take a shower. She go to work just like I do. You know what I'm saying? And
That's
make money
right.
just like she come home and she's tired just like I am. Because I'm doing music, Rachel, with the kids. So, but she worked just like I do. You know what I'm saying? So me to just sit there and say, well, I'm hungry. Well, dude, that was food in the refrigerator. How come you didn't cook it? Or whatever the case, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we got you. I got you, Al. We're here, man. We're here. We're here.
So we're gonna kind of end on a serious note, because I am curious to how, with everything going on with the pandemic, of course, but I say ever since we've been in this country, there has been racism, and y'all have two handsome boys. So how has the conversation gone with the social injustice, the racism, the cops, and our Black kids? How does that conversation look in the Baptist household?
Having two boys, even before it became big on the news, I've always talked to my kids about it. Especially with us traveling a lot. We used to talk about things that we used to couldn't do. We go on vacation every year, and we travel from Quebec, Canada, down to Key West, Florida. So we've been all over. Now, just one part of the conversation. Hey, as Black people, we always got to be careful of where we at and our surroundings, and you always got to be respectful to authority. Period. I talked about my experiences. Thank God I never had any bad experiences with any police. Just thank God for that, none. But I just tell my kids, put yourself in the best situation possible, so that you don't have none of these situations that you're seeing. We've always just talked to them about it.
How do they feel about it? How do the boys do they express to you how they feel about what's going on?
Yeah, Isaiah and Albert said, a lot of stuff that they see is not right. Albert went to a couple protests last summer, and I talked to him about that. And he's like, well, why you guys don't protest? I said, our protest is in our vote. That's our biggest protest. And, you know, going down there and protesting and not doing anything outside of protesting is not going to get you anywhere.
Now, I also have talked to them about, you know, how you carry yourself. So for me, protest is breaking stereotypes.
Right.
So if you carry yourself as an intelligent young Black male, you are counteracting the stereotypes of, oh, they just here selling drugs, or, you know, they coming from single parents home. No. You carry yourself as an intelligent Black man. So we expect you to use your manners. We expect you to say please and thank you. We expect you to open the doors for anybody. We expect you to be the Christian man we have raised you to be, regardless of the political environment. So like you said, we've talked to them since they were young on how to conduct yourselves and what we're expected. Now it's just more in the forefront.
Even history, we went all the way back to, you know, how we've been treated in this country, from slavery all the way up to the 70s, 60s, and the civil rights movement, and taken to the civil rights movement in Greensboro up there. Just constantly educating them on where we come from. Let them understand that, hey, what you're seeing now is nothing new.
And even our family, like my Aunt Carl and my Aunt Jean, them talking about how they grew up on a farm and how they had to walk so many miles to go to school, and them hearing their history. Saying, you know, we just didn't get here all of a sudden. It was so many forefathers that had to pave the way to get to the blessings that we have now, and not to take it for granted. So, like I said, it's just more in the forefront now, and knowing that if you trust in God, He will protect you.
Yeah, and because we have to do that in like in the household with, you know, with the girls, even though they're not boys, but I'm real heavy on, you know, talking to them about slavery and about the 60s and the 50s and, you know, how it's the 70s and how things are today. Because like when the girls was born, all the only presidents they knew was, you know, President Barack Obama. So when he left office, those girls cried like somebody died, because they're like, yo, what's going on? You know, then, you know, who we had after that, but that was all they knew, because Z was born when he was elected. When he was elected. So when he left office, she was 8 years old. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's all they knew. But it was good for them to, all of them, to see that, you know, their color being pretty much in the highest political office in the United States, that they can be that if they choose to be. And now, since you have Kamala, who's, you know, the vice president, they get to see still that women can be in, you know what I'm saying, major power positions. But, you know, my thing is, at the end of the day, we want to come back home. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And, you know, I haven't, other than getting tickets, Al, that's probably, you know, the only major issue that I've had with the police. But at the end of the day, I mean, I know you got dirty here's and there's, but at the end of the day, my whole goal is to get back home. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what we should, you know, teach our kids is, your goal is to get back home. You know,
let us fight the battle.
Yeah, you may not be able to, and who knows, you may not even get the full justice in the courthouse, but your goal is to get back home to live another day. You know what I'm saying?
I tell them this, survive the encounter. We'll fight it on the legal side once you get back home. Just be respectful out there and let him have his power.
Yeah, I mean, because you can't determine, you know, what them jokers gonna do, but just make it home.
That's right.
So before we go, is there any advice or anything that y'all would like to say before we log off? Any last words? They will say.
You want to go first? You've been doing a good job.
Hey, look, Al, let Rachel go first, because she's gonna be longer.
You know what?
You know what? On that, I'll go first. That way, y'all can stop me.
You know what? Yes, I was going to be short. I'm working on being short.
My only piece of advice is to constantly pray and let God lead and guide you in your relationship. I know communication for us had been a big issue. Even with me trying to do the best I can, I was coming up short. And I got to continuously put God first and ask Him for His guidance in all that I do in my marriage to help strengthen it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I was telling him to go last. You know, boom.
ladies. First and foremost, what I would say is like Al, put God first. That is the pinnacle. Put God first.
Right.
Put God first and pray. Put God first and pray. I mean, on rotation. Daily, let's say every second, minute, hour, you just nonstop praying and asking God, seeking God's wisdom in what's going on in your marriage. Something else I would say is don't lose yourself in your marriage. You are an individual. You're an individual. Some aspects of you are good. Some aspects of you are not so good. And God is going to wean that out in the process of your marriage. But in the process of your marriage, know that you first still were Rachel and Sherrie, and you could be one, but you could still have your girl side, your aunt side, your sister side. So don't lose yourself in this, oh, all I am is Albert Baptist's wife.
Right.
No other identity. Just like sometimes I say with mothers. Oh, I'm Albert's mom. I'm Isaiah's mom. Oh, you're such mom. No, I'm Rachel Jones Baptist, who just happened to be mom, right? So don't lose your identity. I would say have a small little circle of women who can talk to and say, hey, check me. Did I do something out of line? Of course, you always talk to God, but sometimes you need somebody face to face. Like, girl, you were all the way wrong.
Right.
What you said was crazy. I can't give you a pass on that one.
Gorgeous crazy.
On that one, girl. And like I said, it needs to be a small circle. It needs to be somebody who is married and needs to be someone who's God-fearing. You don't want somebody who's still in the world trying to give you advice. Because single friends would tell you, like, girl, yeah, you need to do such. And then they might be the ones trying to take your man.
Girl, you know you shouldn't have did that.
Shouldn't have did that, girl. Counter. So, like I said, not that that's my case, but just for women in general to keep that in mind. Secondly, like you said about that communication, making sure you can communicate. And I like the way Sherrie said, no, TJ, I think it was you that said, think about when you're speaking to them in your relationship, make sure you're speaking from a place of love, because so many times when we're speaking from our emotions, we say it and then we apologize, but the sting is still there.
Yeah.
Are still there. And even though you try to pass it, it's still like a nick, still like a spanking. Well, I don't know how many people got whipped before. You see that whelp and it's going down. You can feel it, but that memory of, oh, I got spanked in the closet because I was doing such. It's still there. And that's the same way with our words to each other. We need to do things that will build each other up. And then, like you said, say it out of love and say it in the time in a manner that is conducive for them wanting to hear it. Because so many times we could say things and it's not the right time to say it.
Right.
It could be tired. It could be other things going on. And that person is not willing to receive it. I'm almost finished, Al, with that little nudge underneath. Don't play with me. Don't play with me, Al. This is my time, Al. This is my time.
She's telling our secrets, man.
Yeah, like, are you trying to nudge me? Like,
with a coattail there.
I'm like my kids. What, mama? What? Be quiet. And then, like I said, something else too is don't compare your marriage to somebody else's marriage.
Huge. It's huge.
And y'all ask me for my advice. Now I might not be able to come up here and say it again. So I'm going to say what I got to say. So if you, like I said, looking at Facebook, and I've talked to a couple of my friends, and like I said, they will always say, oh, look at y'all pictures. Oh, y'all look so cute. Y'all do this, so forth, so forth. Well, you don't know the struggle behind the picture to get to the picture. Right. So you got to take it as what's going on in my marriage, because sometimes people put on a front to match what's going on, and they don't address it until you're like, oh, God, I thought they were happy.
Everybody has problems.
Everybody. It doesn't matter what stage.
Okay, what stage?
It could be first year, first few weeks, all the way up to 50 years. Everybody has a different problem that they're going through.
Right.
It depends on if they're willing to share it.
Right.
And last but not least, Al and Sherrie and TJ and my Facebook community. Not least is
She sounds like preaching.
Last but not least,
I'm about to finish.
I'm gonna finish. I'm closing on up, and now I'll give you a little mini quiz to see if you were paying attention to me.
Really? No, we don't need no formative assessment.
No formative assessment. No, not today. I was gonna say, last but not least, is try to find an older couple, and that you can kind of be like neighbor, somebody that you feel comfortable, who you know is going to give you good wisdom. Like, you kind of watch people.
Ernest Jenkins, Mr. Ernest Jenkins, and
Mr. Ernest Jenkins.
Yeah.
Or you, like you said, some neighbors that can be like, look, this is how we got to 50, 60 years, right? And listen to them and take heed to their wisdom. And like Al said, just keep holding on. Yeah. It's a roller coaster. This is not them little kitty roller coaster. This one, the big bad was. Hold on. Please don't let me go. And because somebody has to be the strongest person. Even when my husband was like, I'm ready to divorce you. Like, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. Somewhere. Get your mind right. You got time for that. Sit down. Sit down. Sit all the way down and shut your mouth up. I ain't got time for that.
She said all that.
Yes, I did.
She said it inside out.
I said other words, but because we're on Facebook, I'm gonna keep it clean. So
if she leaves, I'll be talking again.
But like I said, those are my nuggets I would share with people who are going through. Know that you're not in it alone, and that you have people praying for you to make it strong.
And I totally have to agree with this, the point of, people that came up with this lie that they tell that words don't hurt. That is the biggest lie ever. Them things will cut you, will stab you. Them things will take you out, and them things plant seeds. So that's why you have to be careful in what you say, because once you say that thing, you can apologize all you want to, but that whelp, that sting, that whatever, it's gonna be there no matter what. Oh, baby, I love you. And then y'all could be having a great moment, and that mess will come back in her mind or in his mind that you said about them and ruin the whole moment. So yeah, you're right. You gotta be careful in what you say to your spouse.
All right.
Man, let me tell y'all, I enjoyed the night. I did. We got to see the Baptist. I mean, I enjoyed the night. It was good. We already have a pretty good relationship anyway, but it was just good tonight.
I like that.
Yeah, totally. You got totally submerged, no sprinkle. Totally submerged.
So we thank everybody for coming on and tuning in. We thank Al and Rachel for joining us. We truly appreciate it, y'all. Y'all sharing y'all love story with us.
We know y'all. We know y'all passed. Y'all passed the 40s. So y'all
now everybody know my past. Now everybody.
We know y'all about to go to sleep. Y'all bedtime. Y'all been to 20 years.
Thank you guys for sharing y'all love story and y'all words of wisdom.
I'm about to go to sleep. I don't know about y'all, but I'm about to hit the sack. Maybe speak for me. Go ahead, finish, gorgeous.
And for those that tuned in, we thank you guys for always loving and support us. Until next week. Next week is our Mother's Day edition. We have a very special Mother's Day edition that's coming up next Thursday. So please tune in. Once again, thank you guys. We love you guys. Y'all have a great night.
Woo!
Y'all too.
Yo.
Thursday Love.